Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Sunday, January 21st, 2024. And today is the second half of the divisional rounds in the National Football League, so my commentaries on sports, especially one game, the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 o'clock today on CBS, I believe. Yeah. Well, speaking of CBS, there was a guy who worked for the NFL Today from 1976 to 1988. His name was Jimmy Snyder, but you call him Jimmy the Greek. And, well, he had an unpolished way of saying things, and it cost him a couple of remarks that they were labeled as racist to African Americans, and he got fired from the NFL Today. But look who he had. He had company. I mean, he had Brent Musburger, Herb Cross, and Phyllis George. Oh, was she beautiful, wasn't she? And she was the wife of the governor of Kentucky at the time, Y.R. Brown, I believe was his name. Was he Y.R. Brown? I think so. Anyway, but she was a good co-host for NFL Today. I mean, those were the good old days with the NFL Today. That's no disgrace on today's guys like Boomer and Coach Cowher and all the other guys that are in NFL Today. But back in the 70s and 80s, and especially, when you had Tom Brookshire and Pat Summerall as the CBS main guys that Super Bowls, if it came into CBS, they would be on there. Well, today's game, which is on CBS, which is kind of interesting, it's almost like deja vu here. Because sometime in the late 1970s, after he got hired, that Jimmy the Greek always put his mouth in his foot. And like I said, in 1988, it cost him his job at the NFL Today. And it's tainted his legacy. Otherwise, it would have been good because he had a good legacy. He had bad picks, though. Woo. Yeah. But sometime in the late 1970s, I believe it was 78 or 79, somebody asked him about playoffs. And he answered it the same way, kind of the same way that a future NFL coach would answer. Jim Mora? Playoffs? What do you mean, playoffs? Well, this is the case. And Jimmy the Greek, and I'll get back to him in a second. But today's game features the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Two of the NFL's worst franchises ever. Okay? With one exception, and I'll get to that in a second too. Detroit went 0-16 and 0 in a long shot. Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 0-14. Actually, 2-26. But the Lions won more than that in the second season, so they didn't go 2-26. But the team that came close to the 2-26 record for the NFL's Tampa Bay Buccaneers would actually be the Detroit Pistons with the 3-25 record. Remember, they were 2-1 and proceeded to lose the next 24 games to make it 2-25. Almost tying the 2-26 record of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm from Detroit, by the way, so I can say this because I'm not a Detroit fan of any team. In fact, I don't like the Detroit Red Wings. I'm an Islander fan, and boy, am I suffering. Okay. I don't like the Detroit Lions. I'm a Cowboy fan, and under Jerry Jones, I have suffered for 30 years. Yeah, you see what I mean? And the Pistons, I've always been a Milwaukee Bucks fan, so we won a few championships there. So, okay. Anyway, getting back to the game here. It's Detroit Lions. They're having a season with a quarterback, Baker Mayfield, which reminds me of another quarterback from West Virginia in the old days. Jeff Hostetler. And remember, he took his team to the Super Bowl. Will Baker Mayfield do the same thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Maybe. That would be interesting. Beat the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. But here, sports fans, and especially you Detroit Lion fans, and my whole family is a Detroit Lions fan except for me, my favorite BFF, always tells me, eat crow when the Lions win. Oh, yeah, but to give you an example, like I said, back in the late 1970s, he was hired in 76. Jimmy the Greek, somehow or another, and nobody's ever been able to prove it, whether it was on the NFL Live, some interview, or an open mic somewhere, somebody asked him a question about the Detroit Lions in playoffs and the Super Bowl, maybe. And he said, are you kidding? It'll be when hell freezes over before the Lions ever make it to the Super Bowl, let alone win one. Okay. And for you Detroit Lions fans, this year the Lions are one step away from the NFC Championship. If they win tonight, guess what? Hell froze over this month. So hell has frozen over, Mr. Jimmy the Greek, wherever you are up there with the boss. And if the Lions beat the Buccaneers, which I'm rooting for the Buccaneers, but if they do, and they beat the 49ers, oh boy, are we in trouble, because hell froze over, so the Lions are on their way to the Super Bowl. But I still think that the reincarnation of Jeff Hostetler is going to put an end to that. Anyway, this is your favorite alien with today's sports commentary. Good day.